Hello everyone. Thank you Microsoft 365 Community Engagement team for giving me this opportunity and platform to share my experience. So I'm going to talk about modern technique to store and rotate application password in Power Automate for desktop. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Manish Solanki and I am an independent consultant with vast experience in specialize in designing and implementing solution using low-code tools, especially in Power Automate and Power Apps. So during this session, I will first cover the challenges in traditional method of managing application secret or password in RPA scenarios. Next, we will discuss about the modern approach, that is Azure Key Vault credential to overcome that challenge. Post that, I will cover the benefit and prerequisite for setting up Azure Key Vault credential. Then we will jump on the hands-on session to cover the end-to-end scenario. And lastly, we will conclude this session by highlighting the key points covered in this presentation. So the most common problem we face in storing application password in UI automation are, it is not a best practice to store password as plain text in a flow variable, as the password will be visible in the logs of flow run instances. Other data sources like SQL, SharePoint list, Dataverse, these are not designed to store the secret or password. Password we are storing in a password protected Excel file that can also be easily hacked. And we have an option to store password in an encrypted variable. But the challenge is we need to manually update that flow in the live production when the password of that application is rotated or changed. So coming to the modern approach, so we have Azure Key Vault Credential Management Repository that is considered as the safest and the securest place to store secrets or password. Azure Key Vault Credential feature supports storing application credential used in web and UI automation scenarios. So this feature allows us to rotate the password by retrieving the latest value at runtime, and we can store the password of underlying application that is used in UI or web automation. Additionally, credential can be reused by sharing them with other makers or user, and it supports ALM via environment variables. So benefits are quite obvious, like the primary benefit is to avoid editing desktop flow in live production environment on rotation of application password. It supports password rotation and thereby eliminate dependency on support team, reduces error rates and save time and money. The prerequisite for setting up the Azure Key Vault credentials are, it is supported by desktop version 2.54 or higher. This feature is released in desktop version 2.554, and so it will be available in the higher version. The Power Platform environment and the Azure subscription must be in the same tenant. We have another prerequisite like Power Platform resource provider should be registered in the Azure subscription. I will show you when I will demonstrate you. The user should have the required access permission to add secret key Azure Key Vault repository and use those secret in Power Platform environment. Now I switch to the live demo. In this demo, I will use simple example of logging into the Postman app. So although this is not a automation UI automation scenario, but this is fair enough to understand the concept. So you can see I have a desktop flow. It just log into the Postman app, launches that in a new Edge browser. This is the first action. Then it just put the username, that is, you can see a hard code string. And then we have an encrypted variable, that is the password that is used to log into this Postman application, web application. And then it will click on sign in button. So let me run this flow. So if you see here, the bot will first launch the login screen. Then it will first enter the username and the password, and it will log into the Postman application. So the drawbacks or the gray area is like if it is in a production environment, then every time someone changes the application password of this Postman, then we have to edit this flow. So that is not recommended for live production flow. So what we'll do, we will set up, we will first store the application password in Azure Key Vault repository. But before that, let me come back to the prerequisite. So one of the prerequisite we have resource provider Power Platform should be registered with this Azure subscription. So if you see here, we have Microsoft Power Platform that is already registered in my Azure subscription. If it is not, then you will get this option to register. So this is the prerequisite. And then if I go back to the Key Vaults, I have already set up a Key Vault business app credential Key Vault, and you can see there is one secret, that is Postman app secret. So this secret contains the password of the Postman web application as a secret value. So what we'll do now, we will create a Azure Key Vaults credential in Power Automate environment. So before that, other prerequisite as I mentioned, we should have some required permission for a user to create the secrets, add secrets key, and then use in the Power Platform environment. So if I go to role assignment, you can see Manish is the owner of this Key Vault. So by owner, he can add a new password or can update the existing secrets or password. And then similarly, we have the Key Vault administrator who will take care of adding the keys, I mean secret or password, and update the existing keys, secret keys. Then two essential permission we have to give. One is the Dataverse application. So this has to be Azure, Key Vault secret user role permission. So this role is necessary, else you won't able to register this secret key into the Power Platform. And another one is the maker who is registering this secret in the Power Platform should also have Key Vault secret user permission for this particular secret key. So coming back to the Power Automate portal, so we will first create a credential. If you don't find a credential in left navigation, no worries, click Discover All, and then we will go to credentials. So let's create a new credential. Postman app credential. Let's say demo. Now if I click next, so you can see it supports three type of components. One is the connection, then the desktop flow, and the network. So we will use desktop flow for application password. So we'll check this desktop flow, and then we will select the Azure Key Vault from the credentials tool. On click next. So credential contains username and password. So these two strings, or the part of the credential, username and password, will replace in the Power Automate desktop. So let me create a username. So display name, let's say Postman app username, and then value, let's pull it from the Power Automate flow. So I'm creating a new username. So behind the scene, these are basically the environment variable. So username is basically the text environment variable, or we can say single line of text. The password is a secret data type environment variable. So let's create a password also. So I will give the name as postman app secret. Then so it will ask for subscription ID and other details from the Azure Key Vault repository. So we'll go to our Key Vault and we will copy these information and save it here. So subscription ID, save it here. Similarly, resource name, then Azure Key Vault name, Azure Key Vault name is this business app credentials. And then we have secret name. So secret name is the name of the secret key. So this is postman secret. And this secret key contains the actual password of this postman application. So I save this secret name and now I create a new password. So I have set up the Azure Key Vault credential and now I will save this. So my Azure Key Vault credential is set up. So the another benefit is I can share this with other makers and they can use in the other automation scenario. So we have access to use it, or the other person can use and share it, and we can make it as a code. So below you can see we have two environment variable, one for the username and one for the password, that is of secret type. Now our credential is set up. Now we will replace this with the out of box get credential action. So this will pull up the credential which we have just set up, postman credential. And now let's say save it. And now I can replace this hard coded string with the properties username and secret or password in this credential variable. So I will first replace the username. So in the variable I have username and password. So in the first I will put the username, and then in the password it is an encrypted one. So first change it to a text field, and then we'll use the password component of the script. Now this is the modern way of using the credential or managing the secrets of application used in the UI automation. Let's save it and run and test the results. Yeah. So if I run it, the same flow. Now take the username from the credential, that is a part of that is an environment variable, and the password it is directly taken from the Azure Key Vault repository. Yeah. So this is how it runs locally. So let's try it from the cloud. So I have already created a cloud flow, and in cloud flow I'm calling this desktop flow. So go to my flow. There's a cloud flow. It's a simple manually trigger cloud flow, and there's an action to call this desktop flow in attended mode on this same machine. So you can see now I run it. We will see how these credential values seen in the flow logs in the logs of the desktop flow. if we trigger it from the cloud. So it will take some time to trigger the desktop flow from the cloud. So the flow has run. We'll go to the machine to see the see how the flow is running. Desktop flow is running. So if we see run queue, this it is running, and it will take some seconds to trigger on this machine. Yeah. So now the flow runs from the cloud. It will use the same username and password from the credential. Yeah. And log into the particular application for doing the automation. Yeah. So if you see here, it will say take some time to finish the cloud flow. Yeah. So it is over. Now if I go to overview, you can see it. The flow has just ran successfully, and you can see the credential. It also show which credential we have used. So we have used this Postman app credential, and the usage is desktop flow. We have used for UI automation for storing the application password. Now checking the logs. So this get credential, let's see the input. So input we have credential ID. Now let's check the output. So you can see it is masking the value. We will not able to see the password or username from this credential. And similarly, if we check the other action, you can see this is also a sensitive or the mask value, and it is coming from credential. This is for username, and same we have for password. Yes, yeah. So this is how we can use this modern technique for our automation scenario. Now, if you want to go deeper into Azure Key Vault credential, I recommend to check out my 2 YouTube videos. In the first video, I cover the detailed step with end-to-end use case to rotate password for desktop flow connection, and while the second one covers the rotating application password for web and UI automation scenarios. So to summarize, in this demo, we have seen how we can use Azure Key Vault repository and the Azure Key Vault credential in storing the application password securely, and it helps in editing it avoids editing the desktop flow in the production environment, and it has certain benefits like it reduces the error rate, save time and money, and allow us to rotate password. So in the end, I would like to conclude by thanking everyone for patiently listening to me. I hope you found this session useful. Thank you.